Hi guys, it's Jodie and welcome to a new video. So you guys have already probably seen the title of this video and you're probably thinking, Jodie, you literally did a 100+ book haul a few months ago. Like, what are you doing? And yeah, so that's why I'm going to do a usual disclaimer but a bit of like context to this before I get into it. So yes, I have pretty much over 100 books to haul again, but it's not as bad as it sounds. So let me just do a little disclaimer, a little preface of like how I ended up with yet another 100+ book haul. I had Christmas money and I had loads of money on my loyalty card and I had some gift cards from Christmas. So a lot of this I didn't buy. I used my Christmas money, which I was very lucky to receive. A lot of these were also sent to me. A lot of them came in book subscription boxes as well. And then I did buy another few sets of my favourite series for custom dust jackets. So they weren't necessarily like new books, they were just for like the dust jackets that I'd ordered that I got myself for Christmas. So yes, that's like that side of things. I know some people aren't a big fan of book hauls. Some people get weird about how other people spend their money. I don't really understand that personally. Some people will probably not like this and that is fine. You are entitled to not like book hauls. If you have anything negative to say about book hauls, just skip this video, don't watch it, don't put yourself through it. If it's going to bring you some form of negativity, just skip it, you don't have to watch it. For those of you who do enjoy book hauls, I hope you enjoy this one. I hope you find plenty of book recommendations from this video. The reason I do these is because people constantly tell me they love my book hauls because they find so many new books through them. It's a great way of finding books, it's a great way of showcasing authors, and this is also a good thing because me getting all these books helps to support the publishing industry, it helps to support authors, and it also helps to support bookstores. So yes, do not worry, I am happy with how I spent my money. I'm happy that it's going towards the publishing industry and I'm so excited about all these books. Big massive ranty preface contextual disclaimery thing over with. Let's get into the book haul. I haven't got these in any particular order, I just have them all stacked next to me. I mostly have bought a lot of romance books. I've bought up some books by specific authors and I've been sent some and so on. So we're just going to get into it, going to go in a random order. I'm also leaving to go on a trip in like an hour, so I need to make this very quick. So you're not going to get loads of really long synopses in this video because I have too many books to talk about. So you can just Google them or go to Goodreads to find out information about them. I'm just going to showcase the books basically in this video, so let's just get straight into it. Okay, so the first book I have is The Roughest Draft and this is by Emily Wibberley. I think also by Austin Siegmund Broker. So I think this is by two authors, and this is a romance book about books basically, and this is supposed to be good for fans of Emily Henry, I think her name is. I have both of her books but I have not read them yet, but I'm excited to. And on the back it says they were co-writing literary darlings until they hit a plot hole and turned their lives upside down. So I think they like start writing a book together and then they kind of clash and kind of resent each other, and it's kind of like friends to enemies and then enemies to lovers sort of kind of thing. Not exactly, but it's sort of that. And they're like on holiday at this like writing like thing, like I think they're in Florida to try and do like this book together, and obviously it's kind of like forced proximity and I guess eventually they do fall for each other. I love books that have books in it. I love romance with books in as well, and just generally romance, and I don't know, this just sounds like such a good romance. I'm excited to read about two authors falling in love, like yes please. And I've never read anything by this author, I've never heard of this author before. I'm not sure if this maybe is their debut novel, I'm not too sure, but yeah, I'm very excited to read this. Okay, so these next 5 books are all from a series, and I bought these because my wonderful friend Liv over on Instagram recommended this series to me and I trust her recommendations 100%, so I of course went and bought the entire series. I know I'm gonna love these, they're so popular, I know I'm gonna fly through them and I just honestly cannot wait. So I do actually also want to just give a little shout out to Liv's Instagram, which is It's Liv Darling. So if you go and follow her, I will pop it on the screen here, but basically Liv has wrote a book and I'm so excited for it. It's a new adult fantasy novel. It sounds incredible. I'm so excited for it. The cover is gorgeous and she will be publishing it later this year. She will be releasing more information soon. She did post the cover, so I'll put that here. So make sure you go and check out this book. It's called Fear the Flames. I cannot wait for it. It's going to be amazing. Go and follow Liv. Go and add the book on Goodreads. This obviously isn't sponsored. She's just my friend and I'm just genuinely so freaking excited for this book. So yes, go and check out Liv. But yeah, basically she recommended this book series to me. I'm not going to go into what these are about necessarily because I feel like most of you will have seen them, but that is the Addicted series and these are by Krista and Becca Ritchie. I'm trying to hold them all up but they've got like slippery covers. So yeah, I have the entire series here and I plan to binge these. And the first book, Addicted, this has a lot of trigger warnings in it. We follow 2 people with addictions, so I think one of them is addicted to sex and one of them may be addicted to alcohol, and it's kind of about them battling their their addictions, helping each other in a way, basically falling in love. But I'm not sure if maybe the romance is a little bit toxic or anything. I don't know, I haven't read it. That's the general gist of it. All I know is that they're just really good, like kind of a romance series, and that's the only reason I bought them. I don't know like a ton about it. It says on the front, 2 best friends, liars, lovers, addicts, 1 epic love story. So yeah, I'm very, very excited to get to this series. Everyone seems to love it, and I feel like I can just binge my way through this, and I love series like that. Like, they're just the best. So next we have this like kind of cute cozy romance, and that is Weather Girl by Rachel Lynn Solomon, and this is the same author who wrote the X Talk, which I haven't read but probably should. And the general kind of premise of this book is that we have a meteorologist and we have a sports presenter, I think, and they basically like come up with this scheme to reunite their divorced bosses. It kind of ends up leading to their own romance, which I just think sounds so like interesting. I'm just so excited. I've seen this pop up a lot on Instagram recently, and people seem to love it and say that it's like a really cute cozy kind of romance. So I'm so excited for that. I cannot wait to read it, and I don't know, like I can't wait. And this is also floppy, so it makes me even happier. Next we have another series, which is the Twisted series by Anna Huang, and I'm so excited for this. Everyone has been going on about this and saying how amazing this series is, and I just know I'm gonna love this. It has so many good tropes in each book. So I have book 1, which is Twisted Love, and this is like a best friend's sister romance, and just sounds like it will be so good. And then book 2 is called Twisted Games. This one's like a kind of royalty bodyguard forbidden romance, which just sounds amazing. And then book 3 is her newest book, which is Twisted Hate, and this one I think we have a doctor kind of romance, and I think that like a one-night stand happens or something. They like hate each other, and then like they just kind of can't get enough of each other at the same time. On the front it says he hates her almost as much as he wants her, and I just think this sounds so good, and everyone's saying this is amazing. So yeah, I'm so excited for these. I think I'm going to be taking these on my trip, and I cannot wait to read them. Okay, so this next one I'm not going to go into what it's about, and that is Mariana Zapata's All Roads Lead Here, and I want to read this just because I want to read all of her books. I know they're all like slow burn romances. I have ordered some of the other books in work, they just haven't come in yet. This is the only one that's arrived, so I am getting all of her books to sit and binge all them in one go. I quite like to do that. I don't know why, but I've recently discovered I like to kind of binge read an author's work, so I am really excited to do that. If I don't like them, it's no biggie, I will just give them away. I'm sure that I will like them anyway, because I love slow burn romance. I love romance. Mariana Zapata is meant to be like an amazing romance author. Yeah, I have this one, and I'm excited for this one. I've seen it all over TikTok as well, so I really want to know what the hype is about. So next we have 2 Tessa Bailey books, which I have recently read, so I will link my wrap up here if you guys want to go and see my thoughts about it. I talk about this one in my January wrap up, and then I read this during February. So I have It Happened One Summer by Tessa Bailey. This book is amazing. I gave it 5 stars, absolutely loved it. This one we basically follow kind of a socialite who gets kind of exiled to her father's hometown by her stepfather. She's cut off from all of his millions, and she can't be this kind of party girl anymore. She has to get her shit together, and there she meets Brandon, who kind of hates like everything she stands for, and he's like a captain of a boat, and this is like a small fishing village. It's very like cozy and atmospheric. I love the setting, and yeah, they kind of like don't like each other at first, and then they become friends, and then they become lovers, and it's just a really, really good story. I absolutely loved it. And then we have Hook, Line and Sinker, which is the follow-up to this book, and in this one we follow the main character's sister and the love interest best friend and their romance, and this book was so good. I gave it 4 stars. This is an arc, but it is out quite soon. I need to write a review for this, so I will do that soon. I did write a review for this one, so I'll link it down below. I really, really enjoyed this. The only reason it wasn't 5 stars is because it's very repetitive. This really does dive into some like really important issues, especially for men as well, which was really, really interesting to see in a romance book. I just love their romance. I love the main character Hannah. I think she's very relatable, and this is just such like a fun romance. It's just like your typical Tessa Bailey romance, and I loved it. Okay, so next we have The Fine Print by Lauren Asher, which I totally thought was a fantasy romance the first time I saw this cover, but I don't think it is. This is like a kind of like billionaire kind of boss to do with a theme park, and him and his like employees are somehow getting together or something. I don't know, but I've just heard it's amazing, and I just know I'm gonna love this. Like, I just know it from the things I've seen online. Like, it has things in here that I love, and everyone is constantly talking about this book, like especially on BookTok. A lot of these purchases have been influenced by BookTok, because I finally started like diving into book talk, so you can definitely tell in this video. But yeah, I'm very, very excited to read this one. It sounds really good. You guys can read more about it on the internet if you want to know. Okay, so this next one definitely does not need any form of synopsis. I'm sure everyone has heard about this book in the book community. I feel like the only person who hasn't read this, and that is Planet Barbarians. So yeah, this is the first book. This is like an alien romance. So yeah, that's new. I've never read anything like that before, and I know that there is a lot of trigger warnings in here, especially at the very start. So that's the only thing that's put me off starting this so far, is what I've been told happens in the first like kind of chunk of it. But yeah, this is basically a smutty alien romance, so I do want to read it because I would like to experience a smutty alien romance, weirdly enough. I just haven't yet, so I think I will get to this soon, because everyone does say that it is actually like a good kind of romance, so I really want to read it. I'm so intrigued. Maybe I'll do a vlog for this or something. It would be fun. I believe there's like quite a few books in this series as well, but they had this at the bookstore, so I got it. It's like the new special edition cover. I believe it's got like some form of like exclusive epilogue in it as well. But yeah, I got this because everyone has talked about this since like the dawn of booktube, and I just haven't read it. So yes, now is the time, I think, for me to finally start reading alien smutty romance. So next we have His Darkest Craving by Tiffany Roberts, and this is like a paranormal romance. Some girl basically is staying in this secluded cabin in the forest, and this is weird kind of like shadowy like phantom thing that is like kind of being very seductive with her, and it's some kind of like ancient mysterious entity that like lurks in the woods, and she somehow ends up in like this weird romance with it. I don't know, it just sounded really intriguing. Haven't actually heard anybody talk about this book before, but I just stumbled upon it. It's quite short, and I don't know, I just thought it sounded quite interesting. Like, I've not heard of anything like that before, so I think this might be like maybe a demon or ghost romance or something. Honestly, I don't know, but if you've read this, let me know in the comments and let me know your thoughts. But I just thought it sounded really different, so I got it. So next we have Court of Bitter Thorn, and this is by K.L. Moody, The Fae of Bitter Thorn 1. So this is a fate romance. This is supposed to be good for fans of ACOTAR, and yeah, it's kind of like a similar story to ACOTAR, I believe. And yeah, that's that one. Not going to go into any of the detail about that because we are crunching for time right now. And another one that's supposed to be good for fans of ACOTAR is City of Thorns by C.N. Crawford. This is like kind of like a demon romance, and someone like, it's like a mistaken identity. She ends up captive by this demon, and then he realizes it's not her. They try to get revenge. They start to fall for each other. He's called the Lord of Chaos, which is interesting. And this is the first book in the Demon Queen trials. So yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about this one. It's supposed to be a really good kind of dark romance, and I need to read some more like kind of demon Prince of Hell romances. Like, I just need to read more of them. So yeah, I'm excited to get to this one, and I think I might read this in March, so I can't wait. Okay, so next we have Elsie Cover's Dance with a Fae Prince, and this is one of the Married to Magic novels. So I read one of her other novels in this series that was A Deal with the Elf King. I read that during a 24-hour readathon. I will link the 24-hour readathon up here and down below. I really enjoyed that. It was such a fun, fast read. It's literally a blend of For the Wolf meets ACOTAR, so if you like those books, go and read that. It's just a really fun kind of YA romance. It's kind of teetering on the edge of new adult, but I would say it's more YA. So basically in this one, it's the same kind of thing where it's like the marriage trope. He basically says, knew her hand in marriage would be sold. She had no idea Fae Prince was the buyer. So yes, we have like kind of like a arranged forced marriage kind of thing, forced proximity thing going on, and a fae romance. So I just really enjoyed her writing in the other book. It's just really fun, easy to read, and I can't wait to read this one. Next we have this book here by Katie Roberts, which is Electric Idol. So she's the author of Neon Gods, which I have not yet read, but I do want to. So this is another kind of Greek mythology retelling dark romance essentially, and apparently these books are always full of smut, so I'm excited about that. And yeah, this is a modern retelling of Psyche and Eros that's as simple as it is sweet. Sorry if I said any of those names wrong, I'm terrible with pronunciation. Yes, I am very excited for this one because I just love anything to do with Greek mythology, and obviously a romance, like the two go hand in hand for me. I am really excited to read these. Okay, so this next one is a proof I was sent, and this comes out in April 2022. It's called Mad About You by Mahari McFarlane. This is essentially kind of like a rom-com-y romance, and yeah, it says, two strangers, one house share, driving each other crazy is just the beginning. So, forced proximity romance, obviously really detest each other. Yes, please, like, Yes. This one I was randomly sent and I don't really know what it's about. It came out on the 17th of February and it's called Parallel Hells, and this is by Leon Craig, and it says 13 gothic and eerie unforgettable stories. So yeah, this is a collection of gothic stories and I am obsessed with this cover. This one I was also sent by Harper 360, and this is The Donut Trap by Julie Teo, and I believe this is already out. I don't actually know what this is. I didn't request this, I was just sent it. I believe it's a coming of age story. I think there's a bit of romance in here, and I have seen this pop up a little bit online, so I am really intrigued by it and I definitely do plan to read this, and I just think this cover is really, really cute as well. Okay, so next we have this big chunky floppy proof, which is the Final Strife, and this comes out in June 2022, and I just think this is a stunning proof. Like, look at this. This is the first book in a new fantasy series as well. It says the Final Strife is the beginning of a revolutionary new epic fantasy trilogy inspired by Ghanaian folklore and Arabian myths. So I love books inspired by folklore and mythology, and I can't wait to read this. So thank you so much to the publisher for sending me a copy of this book. Next I have 3 poetry books. So I have one by Nita Gill, which I'd never actually seen before. I've read her like Fierce Fairy Tales poetry book, I think it was the start of 2020, and I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good, and I stumbled upon this in a bookstore, and some of these sound amazing, and I do dip into poetry every so often. I will pick up a poetry book, and this just sounded really, really good. Featuring rewritten fairy tale heroines, goddess wisdom, and poetry that burns with revolution, this collection is an explosion of femininity, empowerment, and personal growth. So yeah, this just sounds so good. On the front it says poems of rebellion, fire, and beauty. This cover is so beautiful, so I do plan to read this while I'm away, and I'm very excited because I really enjoyed Nikita Gill's other work. Okay, so this next one is by Langliev, and this is called Love Looks Pretty on You, and this is poetry and prose. I'm obsessed with this cover. It's stunning. I've never read anything by Langliev before. I saw this one in the bookshop and I was like, that looks beautiful, and I flicked through some of them and they just sound amazing. So this is essentially just all poetry to do with love and kind of like heartbreak and other things, and I don't know, like I just really wanted it. I love this cover as well. So this next one I think I've already spoken about in my TBR video, but I got this because of my friend Kat. This is poetry by Amanda Lovelace, who's wrote The Princess Saves Herself in this one. I haven't read any of those poetry books, but this is called Flower Crowns and Fearsome Things, and this is poetry inspired by Persephone. So that's the only reason I bought this, was because I love Persephone. So yeah, very excited for this, and the inside is so beautiful. Okay, so next I have a ton of Colleen Hoover books, and that's because I'm planning to do a video, either a series or a giant video reading all of these books. So obviously I'm not going to read these like in a week. It'll be over the space of like a month or two, but I'll just show you the ones I've got. I'm not going to go into what they're about because everyone in the book community is aware of Colleen Hoover, and yeah, so I'm just going to go through them. So I've got Confess, I have Without Merit, I've got All Your Perfcts, which I believe is terribly emotional, I've got Reminders of Him, The Tearjerker, I've got Maybe Someday, I've got Ugly Love, I've got November 9, I've got Hopeless, which I believe there's a couple of other books in this series, and I've got Verity, which is a thriller. So yes, I have not all of Colleen Hoover's books, but a lot of them, and I cannot wait to read them. I'm so excited. I think I'm either going to start with Ugly Love, It Ends With Us, or Verity, but I'm not sure which yet. But I am planning to potentially do a vlog series or a giant vlog reading all of these books. Okay, so continuing the romance theme, I have 2 books by Christina Lauren, and I didn't realise this was actually 2 authors until recently. So I have Josh and Hazle's Guide to Not Dating, and I also have the Roomies. I cannot wait for the Roomies. This just sounds like really, really good. I love anything like this, and my manager at work read one of her books and really, really enjoyed it, so I'm really excited to read these. Then next we have While We Were Dating by Jasmine Gilroy, and I cannot wait for this. This basically is kind of like a fake dating or romance. We have a celebrity. It just sounds amazing. Very, very excited for it. This next one I was very kindly sent, and this is Not Here to Be Liked, and I was sent this by the publisher because it is shortlisted for the Waterstones Children's Book of the Year. So this is obviously a YA novel, and it is kind of like a romance and kind of rivals to lovers kind of romance. It just sounds really good, and I'm really excited to read it. And then next we have another proof, which is 12 Days in May by Neve Hagen, and this one is essentially set in Cannes Film Festival. We have a director and someone who works in the industry. They stopped speaking a few years ago. We don't know why necessarily, but it was big enough to make them cut ties, and then they kind of force together again to try and save this film, and obviously we find out why. They try and work through why they stop speaking, and a romance develops. So yeah, this one sounds really, really good. Next we have a classic, which is Looking for Alaska by John Green. So I already own this, it's just that my copy is ruined, and I really want to reread some of these books that I read in my teens that have really had an impact on me and that I loved. And I remember reading this one when I went on holiday, and I remember crying. Besides that, I don't remember anything else, so I picked up a new copy to read this again, and I cannot wait to. I was sent a proof copy of The Bone Spindle by Leslie Vedder, and this is a action-packed gender-flipped reimagining of Sleeping Beauty, and this is a stunning proof as well. Like, this is so pretty. Next we have Hang the Moon, and this is by Alexandra Belfleur, and it says he's looking for the one but maybe he's already met her. And yeah, this is like a romance. I've heard a lot of good things about this. This cover is adorable as well. And it says on the back, a hopeless romantic vows to show his childhood crush that romance isn't dead by recreating iconic dates from his favourite films in this own voices queer rom-com. So yeah, this sounds so cute and so good. I cannot wait to read it. Then next we have A Fate of Wrath and Flame by K.A. Tucker, and this is a romance, and I think it's a dark romance. I think she ends up kind of getting married to a prince or something, and they don't like each other. She would know the world of vengeful gods and monsters, and the lengths one would go for love, and nothing would ever be the same for her again. So yes, I believe this is a really dark romance. It sounds incredible. Next we have The Friend Zone, and this is by Abby Jimenez, and this one says, a deliciously hot, sweet debut. This book is an absolute treat. He's the best man, and that's the problem. The Friend Zone will have you laughing one moment and grabbing for tissues the next, as it tackles the realities of infertility and loss with wit, heart, and a lot of sass. This is going to be a really like interesting romance, and it's going to tackle so many like important things in here as well. So obviously there are trigger warnings. I have two books by Denise Williams, and I have How to Fail at Flirting and The Fastest Way to Fall, and obviously these are just both romance novels. Oh no, my books just fell everywhere. I'm really excited to read both of these. I am on an absolute romance kick right now. Next one I just think sounds amazing, and this is How to Love Your Neighbor. This is by Sophie Sullivan, and essentially she like buys this like house, and this realtor lives next to her, and he's like really grumpy and like not very nice, and they kind of hate each other, but then they end up like kind of working together and obviously start to love each other. So yeah, very excited for this one. Then we have Not Your Average Hot Guy, and this is a romance to do with the Prince of Hell, and I just think that sounds so good. Like, yes, I can't wait. Okay, so next we have Cream and Punishment and A Cone and Only by Susanna Nix, and these are part of the King family novel series. These are just supposed to be really cute, wholesome kind of romance novels. And yeah, I'm excited to read them. They just sounded really different, so I read some reviews. They sounded like what I will really love. I'm very excited about it. I can't wait to read both of these. Then next we have Paris is Always a Good Idea by Jen McKinley, and it says a 30-year-old woman retraces her gap year through Ireland, France and Italy to find love and herself in this hilarious, heartfelt novel. So yeah, I can't wait to read this. It said on the back, Eat, Pray, Love meets Mamma Mia, so I was like, okay, I'm intrigued. Like, I need this book now. So yeah, I cannot wait to read this. I like the sound of like soul searching and romance. Like, it just sounds like a really good mix, so I'm very excited to read this one. I keep saying that for every single book, but it's true. I'm just excited. Next we have a Sally Thorne book, which is Second First Impressions. I got this because I love The Hating Game, so I want to read more of her books, and we have this in at the bookstore, and this sounds kind of like a frenemies to lovers kind of romance. I don't know, it just sounds really cute, really sweet, and like I said, I really enjoyed Sally Thorne's Hating Game, so I bought this one. Next I have a bunch of Ellie Kennedy books, and I read The Deal and loved it, and I want to binge like the whole series, and I had book 3 but not the rest of them, so I got book 2, 4 and 5 because I need them to complete my collection, and I do plan to binge all of these because her writing is so good. I read The Good Girl Complex by Ellie Kennedy recently and loved it, and I just want to read everything by her now. So yeah, I got the rest of those to complete the series and read these. And then I also got some of the Briar Yu books. I don't know how many there are, but these are the only ones that have arrived at my bookstore so far. So I got The Risk, The Play and The Chase, so this is a spin-off series, and I'm really excited to read these as well. Okay, I really do need to hurry up now, so I'm going to go through all the rest of the books super quick because I still have a lot to talk about, which is mostly fantasy, and fantasy synopses even are always really long, so I'm literally probably just going to show them and you guys will have to Google. I'm sorry. Next I have Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. This is a murder mystery YA thriller. Very excited for this. Everyone's heard of it. I decided to get myself the hardcover because I saw someone selling it on Depop, and I think I'm going to take this on my trip and hopefully read it, and I'm very excited about it. This next one is a super random one I came across in work, but I just think it sounds incredible. And this was on the shortlist for the Costa Book Awards last year. It's a brilliant modern love story, and it is Fault Lines by Emily Itami, and this is set in Tokyo. We follow a Japanese housewife, and she's kind of just living life day to day. Like, she's just kind of exists and doesn't really have a life. She's kind of fed up with her husband and just doing laundry all the time and not really like doing anything. And then one day she meets this really successful guy, they hit it off, they start having a relationship, and it says here it's an alluring, compelling and startlingly honest and darkly funny. Fault Lines is a bittersweet love story and a daring exploration of modern relationships from a writer to watch. So yeah, I just thought this sounded really interesting. I like the fact it's set in Tokyo, and this cover is also really beautiful, and it just sounds like a really kind of interesting love story and a more kind of contemporary one as well. And I don't know, I just think that this will be a really good book to read, and I'm excited to get to this. Then next I picked up this book, which is My Body, and this is a signed copy. So I've seen some like passages from this book floating around and they sounded so relatable. I wouldn't usually read something like this. This is basically kind of an exploration of feminism and what it means to be a woman, and how our bodies are quite often sexualized and objectified, and kind of how we deal with that, and the experiences of the author as well. I just think this sounds like a really interesting read. I feel like it's going to be very relatable, and I just feel like it's probably quite important to read as well. So I am looking forward to reading this, and I'm really glad that I managed to get a signed copy as well. Next we have Only a Monster by Vanessa Len, and I got this in a book box. So this is an exclusive edition. I don't know if this is from Fairylight, I think it was, but this is so stunning. Look at this, so pretty. And then we have art here, and it's signed, and it also has sprayed edges as well, which are just so pretty. And it says on the back, don't forget the rule, no one can know what we are, what you are, you must never tell anyone about monsters. So yeah, can't wait to read this. It sounds amazing. Then I got this hardback copy of The Red Queen because I read this series years ago and loved it, and I want to reread it, and I saw this hardcover for sale on Depop, so I just thought I'd get it. So I did, and yeah, I do plan to reread this soon. Next I was sent a copy of The Firekeeper's Daughter by Angeline Booley, and this is also on the shortlist for the Waterstones Children's Book of the Year. This is a thriller, I believe. I think this follows a Native American woman and her trying to like figure it out, and it just sounds like an incredible story, and I've heard so many good things about this book recently, so I am looking forward to reading this one. And yeah, I'm glad that a copy was sent into work. So we have a non-fiction novel, which again I wouldn't usually go for, but I've seen passages of this as well on Bookstagram, and I just thought it sounded really interesting, and I'm excited to read some of the things that are in here. This is Conversations on Love by Natasha Lunn, and this is a nice hardcover copy as well, and it has like a lot of different topics in here. So it's like, how do we find love, how do we sustain love, how can we survive losing love, and a conclusion. Yeah, I feel like it'll be really interesting to read about that, and I don't know, I've just heard lots of good things about this book, so I picked it up at work and I can't wait to dive into it. So next I got this book, which is like a fantasy fae sort of romance. It says it's a forbidden fae kiss could be deadly, and this is Frozen Hearts and Death Magic by Day Leto, and this is a Fire and Fae book 1. So I just thought this sounded really interesting. Look how gorgeous this is. Like, it's so pretty. And I think there's art underneath as well, which looks like this. I love that. I think this is technically a self-published book as well. But it says here that Frozen Hearts and Death Magic is a novella inspired upper YA romantic fantasy for fans of multi-pop stories, forbidden love, enemies to lovers, family drama, royal intrigue and mysterious magic. It's book 1 of the duology of Fire and Fae, recommended for readers of 16 and upwards. So yeah, I just thought this sounded really good. I haven't heard anyone talk about this, so I'd be really interested to know if anyone has read it. Anything with fae in and romance, I'm obviously going to buy. Next we have A River Enchanted by Rebecca Ross, and the only reason I bought this is because it has been pitched as perfect for fans of House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J Maas. So as soon as I saw that, I was like, right, okay, instant buy, need it. It's a fast-paced mystery and a love story, so I'm here for that. Cannot wait. A gorgeous cover as well, and I'm intrigued to see how it compares to like Sarah J Maas. Like, that's a really like high bar to live up to, so yeah, we'll see about that, but I'm excited for it still. And my camera battery is now also running out, so I really need to be quick. So I have This Woven Kingdom by Tahira Murphy, and this is the Waterstones exclusive edition as well. And I did also receive a special edition in a Fairylight box, which I'll show you guys in a minute. So this is like a fantasy romance. It just sounds amazing. It's got royalty in it. It's got a girl with like secret hidden abilities that could bring down the whole kingdom. It just sounds incredible, and I'm so excited. It's YA, and I just think I'm absolutely gonna love this. Like, I cannot wait for it. This one just randomly in the the pile, but it's a kind of a funny story by Zini. So I watched this movie when I was a teenager when it came out, and it was one of my favourite films and I loved it, and I watched it at a time where I think I needed it, and it was just so incredible. So this is a story basically about this New York City teenager who is really struggling, and he admits himself into a mental hospital because he's worried he's going to try and commit suicide. So this is full of trigger warnings. He ends up in this mental hospital and he meets lots of other patients dealing with their own things, and it's basically about him trying to like work through things. It's like a really like an amazing story, and I've never read the book, so I picked it up and I do want to read this because I love the film. I just think it's an incredible story. But yeah, obviously lots of trigger warnings for this book. Okay, so moving on to special editions, I have Gilded by Marissa Meyer. This is the Fairyloot edition, I believe, and this is absolutely gorgeous, like gold sprayed edges, stunning end papers, and it is signed of course, and I just think this is a gorgeous edition and I'm looking forward to reading this one. And next we have Versepatine. I can never say this. Versepatine, I can't even say it, but you know what book I mean. This is by Margaret Rogerson. Read Sorcery of Thorns and Enchantment of Ravens by her, and I liked them. They were enjoyable. They were nothing amazing, but they were fun reads. I'm interested to see what I think about this. This is the Fairyloot exclusive edition. It has stunning art inside as well, and this is just such a pretty book. And next we have the gorgeous Illumicrate editions of two of my favourite books ever by one of my favourite authors. I've got upside down. So this is the Madeline Miller box set by Illumicrate, and it is absolutely gorgeous. So in here we have Circe by Madeline Miller and A Song of Achilles. Both absolutely gorgeous books. I just wish they had sprayed edges and maybe a quote on the back. I know that's me being really fussy, but yeah, it would have been so good if they had that. These are both gorgeous, two of my favourite books ever, and I just absolutely adore this box set. Next we have I Am Widow, and this one I got in a Illumicrate box, I believe, and this one is stunning as well. It is signed. This is a kind of sci-fi fantasy novel. Handmaid's Tale meets Pacific Rim in this dazzling blend of Chinese history and mecha science fiction, and yeah, it just sounds really good. I've heard a lot of good things about this one as well. Then we have another one I got in a Fairyloot box, I think. I'm not even sure. It's Year of the Reaper. I don't know anything about this one, to be honest. I honestly can't remember even unboxing this, but yeah, it came in a Fairyloot box. So we have this one. Then we have this one, which I think was in an Illumicrate box, which has some of the most prettiest sprayed edges I've ever seen. And this is a Marvelous Light, and it says Mystery, Magic, Murder, Marvelous. It says a hidden world, a magical conspiracy, a thrilling romance. So this sounds amazing. It's a really weird dust jacket though. Like, I don't know, it's a bit strange. I've never had a dust jacket come like that before. Interesting. And then we have This Woven Kingdom by Tahira Murphy. I think this was the Fairyloot edition, and this has gorgeous sprayed edges. Like, look at those sprayed edges. I'm absolutely obsessed with this book. So pretty. So this next one I have is The Raven and the Rush, and this is The Book of All Things by Sarah M. Credit. It says, escape into this story of destiny and forbidden love, weaving together a fate bigger than man, bigger than magic. And look at this. Oh, absolutely stunning. I swear the self-published books are the ones that put the most effort in and are like the prettiest. Like, look how good this is. I wish every book had something like that in. But yeah, this like cover as well, I'm absolutely in love with. It is so stunning, and like, look at that. Like, it's just so pretty. So yeah, Forbidden Romance, yes please. Then we have this one, which is Of Thorns and Beauty, and this is a Beauty and the Beast retelling. This is the first book in the Twisted Pages series, and this is by Ellie Madison and Robin D. Mal. And again, to me, this is just screams kind of like ACOTAR vibes, and yeah, it's a Beauty and the Beast retelling, so I'm excited for that. I think it will be fun. Another one that has the cover printed onto the actual book. Like, yes please. So yeah, I'm trying to buy like more self-pub kind of authors. So yeah, I got this one because I love any Beauty and the Beast retelling, so excited for that. Then we have these two by Tassandra Adet, and we have the Fair Isle trilogy. So this is the whole series in this book, so obviously 3 books. It says on the back, every young woman dreams of marrying a king, everyone except for me, because the king I am to wed has razor sharp fangs and a thirst for blood. So yeah, it sounds amazing. I'm very excited. It also says inside, if I don't lose my heart, the king will lose his. I'll carve out with the iron blade if I have to. Oh, I just love the sound of this, and look at this under the jacket. Oh, It's giving me Folk of the Air trilogy vibes. Like, that's what it's giving me. Oh, look how pretty that is. So yes, I'm very, very excited about this one. It is just giving me Holly Black vibes. I don't know why, but it is. So yeah, I bought this one. And then I also bought this one, which is Heart of the Raven Prince. And this is a Cinderella retelling. And it says, where the glamour called the prince, don't fall in love. And I love anything like that, where it's like, you know, them going in to kind of ambush the prince or king, like worm their way in to like steal the crown from him or kill him. And then they end up falling in love with him. I love that trope. So I'm very, very excited about this one as well. Then I got this book, which is How Do You Live by Jen Zabaru Yoshino. And this is got a foreword from Neil Gaiman inside, and I bought this because I saw, oh, I can't remember who it was on Instagram. If I remember, I'll put their Instagram here, but I saw it on their Instagram and they said it was really good. And also look how cute this is, the little moon. So this is kind of like a memoir, and this book actually inspired one of Studio Ghibli's movies as well, and this has recently been translated from Japanese to English. And basically this is a book that considers life's biggest questions, so it's kind of philosophical. And yeah, I'm really excited. It's a Japanese classic and I really want to read more out my comfort zone, and she just made me really want to read this book. So yeah, I got this one and I'm looking forward to reading it and reading something a bit different. Then I have The Keeper of Night by Kylie Lee Baker, and this is kind of like a fantasy sci-fi one. We've got a half British Reaper and half Japanese Shinigami, and I think this takes place in London, I think. And there's like kind of magical abilities in here and stuff, and like assassins and all that stuff. It just sounds really, really good. I spoke about this in a reading vlog and what it was about. Yeah, I've heard a lot of good things about this one as well. I really need to speed up, so I'm not going to talk about these ones too much. So I have these two here, which are the prettiest books I've ever seen in my life. So I have Skin of Night, and I also have Into the Night, and this is by C.K. Bennett, and these are like romance books, and I got these because I saw Kira on Instagram talk about these, and the covers are so cool underneath. So yeah, these are romance and I'm just obsessed. I can't wait to read both of those. Then I randomly bought this fantasy book, and I honestly can't remember what it's about, but it's called Shattered Kingdom by Angelina J. Stafford. This is another like independent author. It says, sworn to a goddess, one with a blade, a heart yet unbroken. And it's a like fantasy romance kind of series, and when you get all the books, the spines line up and make an image, which I love. So yeah, I want to try this series out, see if I like it. Then I have this one, which I've already spoken about in a vlog as well, which is A Rush of Wings, and I think this is a retelling as well of a myth or a folk tale. It just sounded really good. I found this in Forbidden Planet, and the cover underneath is so pretty, and yeah, I just cannot wait to read this. Scotland's got kind of like a witch in it and like magic and stuff, and it just sounded gorgeous, and I love anything set in Scotland, so yes, cannot wait for this one. Then I have Daughter of the Moon Goddess by Sue Lin Tan, and this is a gorgeous signed exclusive edition for Waterstones, and this says it's a retelling inspired by the Mid-Autumn Legends, and it's got romance in it, and it's inspired by Chinese mythology. Again, I love anything inspired by mythology, so cannot wait to read this. Heard really good things about it, and this is an absolute gorgeous edition as well. And these two I think I've spoken about briefly before, but I have Air Comes to Rise and Queen Comes to Power by CC Penaranda. I don't know if I've already hauled these, I might have done. These are basically pitched as perfect for fans of Throne of Glass. It's fantasy, it's action packed, and I think there's romance, so I'm excited. Then I got this illustrated edition of The Witcher The Last Wish by Andrzej Sapkowski. I love this book when I read it. It's so funny. I love the show, so of course I had to get myself this, although considering it's illustrated, there aren't really that many illustrations in here, but I still had to get it. I wanted the hardcover, but those are like some of the illustrations there, so yeah, really, really love this. And I have this proof of Holly Black's A Book of Night, which I'm so happy about. This is a hardback, and this says, once upon a time a boy was born with a hungry shadow. So yeah, you guys can read all about this like online. I'm very, very excited. This was proof number 70 out of 100 limited edition ones, so I'm very, very lucky to have had one of these, and I'm very excited to read this book. This comes out in May 2022 as well, and it's going to be a adult fantasy. Then I have this book here, which is House of Eclipse by Casey L. Bond. Again, another indie book. It's captures heart, steals crown. Again, I love that trope. Anything like that I'm obsessed with, and obviously, as per usual, stunning art underneath. Like, look at that. How gorgeous is that? So yeah, obviously we're gonna have romance in here and a lot of kind of action, and yeah, look at this cover, it's just really cool. And I have these books here, which I'm so excited about, and I'm currently reading, which is House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J Maas. So I have the Waterstones exclusive edition, which contains an extra chapter from a different pub, and then I have the tour edition as well, which looks like this. So beautiful. This is the second book in the Crescent City series. I also have the standard edition, which I'm currently reading and annotating, and then my wonderful friend Mika has got me the Target exclusive edition, and then my lovely friend Kay has got me the Barnes & Noble exclusive edition, which are pretty much the exact same thing, but I wanted them. So yes, very, very thankful for my amazing friends who managed to get me those. I also got myself a Throne of Glass set of books with new dust jackets, and I also got some Thorns and Roses custom jackets as well. So rather than get them off my shelf, I'm just going to quickly show you guys them on the shelf. So I will do that now, and then I'll come back and wrap up this video. Okay, if the lighting is really bad, it's because there's currently a storm outside, so it's really dark in here. But I got this nerdy ink set of the Throne of Glass books, and I bought another set of hardbacks for it. So I've already showed this in a vlog, but I'll quickly show you guys them now. So we have Assassin's Blade, we have Throne of Glass, we have a Crown of Midnight, Heir of Fire, Queen of Shadows, Empire of Storms, Tower of Dawn, and then we have a Kingdom of Ash. So yeah, absolutely gorgeous. I've wanted these for so long, like since these first released a few years ago, close to when I first started like booktube and bookstagram and all that, and I always wanted them, and I got myself them for Christmas. I also got myself the ACOTAR editions as well, which are down here. So yeah, I got myself these as a Christmas present, and they're beautiful, so I bought hardbacks for them. So I have A Court of Thorns and Roses, A Court of A Mist and Fury, my favourite book of all time, A Court of Wings and Ruin, we have A Court of Frost and Starlight, and then we have A Court of Silver Flames as well. They do have art on the backs, but I'm not going to show them because I just can't be bothered. And this video is very long. Then I also have this set here I bought for someone on Depop, and I don't know who the artist is, but I loved it. This is back to front because I just love the back. So I have A Court of Thorns and Roses, which looks like this here, and here's the back as well with Lucian. Then this one here is A Court of Mist and Fury, and we have gorgeous facing on the front, and then we have more an Amryn on the back with this gorgeous quote as well. Just absolutely love these editions. If you know what the artist is, please link them down below because it doesn't say on here and I have no idea because I bought them on Depop. And then again, Cut Wings and Ruin, just gorgeous. I will properly show and talk about these in my bookshelf tour, which will be coming in March. I have A Court of Frost and Starlight, gorgeous. And then we have A Court of Silver Flames. Oh, Nesta and Cassian looking absolutely amazing. And then the back as well, which is gorgeous. Yes, I'm pretty sure that concludes this book haul. So it is over 100 books, but as you guys could see, I got sent a lot of stuff. I bought some series, I got some custom dust jackets, I got loads of books in book boxes and things like that. I'm just in the romance binge, and I just wanted loads of romance to read and loads of options, so I obviously bought loads, and I'm planning to read a lot of these on my trip because I will be flying through books. So I'm going to be taking a lot of these with me then and reading my way through them. Some of them are for videos as well. Yes, I hope you guys found some new books through this video, some new authors you may have not heard of before. Sorry I couldn't give a full kind of like synopses of all these books, but this video would have been too long, and like I said, I'm rushing because I'll be getting picked up soon to go on my trip. So yes, I hope you guys did enjoy this. If you've read any of these books, let me know in the comments what your thoughts were, or if you're planning to buy any of the books I mentioned, also let me know. If you made it to the end of this video, leave a book emoji in the comments, and don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. If you're new, feel free to subscribe. I upload bookish videos every single week, and I would love to have you here. I do also have a Patreon where you can find extra content from me, such as reading vlogs, a monthly buddy read. We have a Discord where we chat, we do 24-hour readathons. I upload behind the scenes photos, early access, and lots of other things on my Patreon. So I'd also love to have you join me there if you would like to. But yes, I will try to link all of these books down below if there's enough room in the description box, so you guys know the title and you can go and search more information about it on Goodreads and things like that. But thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you're all safe and well. I hope you're reading lots of good books, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!